Luka Doncic is an incredible player, and it was just awful watching him in game 6 and 4, just whining to the officials every single call. Every call.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today on this Wind Up Wednesday edition, our favorite team leader and should have been Oklahoma City Thunder fan, Mike King. Mike, how you doing today, man?
Rough day yesterday, but future's bright.
Future is bright. So on today's show, in segment 1, we're going to talk about the playoffs and get you ready for the finals. In segment 2, we're going to talk about the draft. And in segment 3, we now have stuff to talk about on the court with the WNBA. And we're going to have that conversation. Coach Adams is a little upset about some things. But first, Eastern Conference, Boston in the final. We've got a Knicks and Pacers game that has not been played at the time of this taping. But Mike, Boston is the best team in the East, and it's championship or bust for the Celtics. Any thoughts about the Eastern Conference, sir?
Well, we get a game 7. That means literally nothing because Boston's going to beat whoever wins in 5 games at most. I think everyone knows that. I think the Knicks and Pacers know that. So it should be exciting right now, but it's kind of anticlimactic because Boston's just so much better. I just don't see any scenario where it's not them coming out of the East.
I 100% agree with you. Save Kristaps Porzingis because you can beat these teams without him and then get him ready for the finals, which takes us to where basketball is. The Dallas Mavericks beat Oklahoma City in the series. Congrats to the Mavericks, first and foremost. I was wrong about the fit. But Denver and Minnesota have a game 7 as well. So, Mike, share your thoughts on the Dallas OKC series, and then we'll both preview whatever we think is going to come out of Denver and Minnesota. Floor is yours.
Luka Doncic is an incredible player, and it was just awful watching him in game 6 and 4, just whining to the officials every single call. Every call. It's amazing he didn't get thrown out, because it's every call. And to me, it just kind of makes I'm rooting for OKC, so it's kind of annoying from I'm rooting for the other team kind of perspective. But I imagine the casual fan just watching the stars just crying every single it's just too much. I think in baseball, when the umps just think the whole show's about them, I think that's bad. But then in basketball, where the players can do whatever they want and whine the whole game and nothing happens, there's got to be a happy middle ground. Just shut up and play. Because when he stopped whining, they started winning. So, shut up and play. I think whoever wins Denver, Minnesota wins. But Denver, Minnesota is just the hardest series to figure out because one team blows a team out, the other team blows a team out. It doesn't matter if they're home or away. It's just it's been just so different, that series. Hard to get to put a finger on it, but I kind of hope it's Denver, just because I'm not. I wanted OKC Minnesota. I think that's the future rivalry. I don't want Minnesota to get there before. So out of pettiness, I'm going to root for Denver to just beat Dallas in 3 somehow. I just want that to just be an embarrassment to little crying Luka.
My name is Luka. As I said last week, I just think it's going to be hard to beat Denver 4 times in 7 games. So I think Denver's going to beat Minnesota in game 7. And I think Denver will beat Dallas in 6. So we'll see what happens. But when we get back, fans, Mike and I are going to be GMs. And we're going to talk about the draft. And we're going to see what we're going to do to keep our jobs. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete, academic, and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student athletes. As student athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE project offers academic and athletic services to support student athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Our Coaches Podcast in segment 2. We got some NBA draft thoughts. The NBA scouting community is really not that enthralled with this draft. There's no overwhelming top pick like last year, and there's a sentiment that teams in the top of the lottery, Atlanta, Washington, Houston, will listen to any and all trade offers. It's just not the media talking about this, Mike. It's a bad draft. There's not a lot of difference makers. One thing that's not being talked about is players being drafted higher than they would be in another draft. So the players who we're not mad at, get any dollar you can, will be in a higher slot going into their second contract. And I don't know how that's going to look. So, Mike, you've got a couple of guys in front of you. What direction would you go in if you were a GM in terms of the draft?
So I'm not trading. I'm not trading up in this draft. Are you crazy? Who's gonna? But I look at 2013, which was a terrible, terrible draft. Alex Len was the 5th pick from Maryland. He was awful. Anthony Bennett, Otto Porter, like it was a bad draft. But Giannis went in that draft. So like, even in bad drafts, and that's at the top of that draft, that's an all-time bad draft. Giannis was available in the first round. Just no one knew he was Giannis yet, right? So there's always hope. I know the guy that I want because the Thunder have, I think, the 12th pick for one of their, they either have 2 or 3 first-round picks this year. I want Jalen Williams' brother, Cody Williams. He was in Colorado. He's 6'8", freshman, can shoot, athletic, Thunder need size. At the top of the draft, I don't know enough about a lot of these players. Never seen many of them play.
And Mike, I want to stop you with that because a few weeks ago, you mentioned this about the women's game. Mm-hmm. Part of the appeal to the women's game was the fact that you knew who was coming up, who to look for, and you latched in. In today's college basketball game with the movement, which we have no issue with, it's hard to really follow and lock into a lot of these players because they're moving a lot. And once they're in the NBA, and I've had college guys and NBA guys tell me this will be the first time in their career that they can't leave. When you sign that first round deal, somebody else tells you what to do and not you. So if it doesn't work out for you, they haven't had to stay through whatever. And no, this is not old man saying you're not tough and this, that, and the other. This is the reality of how we are. You've gone to 3 and 4 different high schools. You've gone to 3 and 4 different colleges. You've had a lot of different coaching, but you really haven't had what you like to have as a teacher. I've taught you as a U.S. history student, government student, and now I have you in an elective. I've helped you grow. I've helped your writing. I've seen this progress. So with that, does that change your mind at all? Because for me, I'm packaging for a young vet, similar to the transfer portal. I don't want these kids. So you go ahead and take these picks, and I'm going to get somebody about to hit their second contract. What are you thinking about that?
So, again, looking at the 2013 draft is kind of how I'm looking at this one. I'd rather take the lottery, the scratch off of someone from overseas who maybe we don't know, and maybe it'll pan out versus some of these guys who we've got tape, we've seen them live, and we're not too impressed. So I think that's probably going to be the move for if there's going to be a superstar that comes out of this draft. but yeah, you just when you don't know the players, it's hard for the NBA to sell this. Like Victor Wembanyama, we all knew him because we knew about him for years, right? Like when your biggest players are overseas and no one knows who they are because they're not potentially that good, and that's your one pick. How are you supposed to sell this? Whereas the NFL, they figured out how to sell. The draft is such a huge deal, and everyone knows everyone, and they're them in college football are there together, like as part of this conglomerate. Whereas, like we said, I don't know half these players. They were at this team, now they're at this team, or they're playing in the G League, or they're playing overseas, and it makes this event a little bit tougher to sell unless you've got an absolute superstar, which happens every 10 years?
Yeah. So last thought, what do you think about Bronny James? Will he get drafted? He's 6'1", doesn't play point. I'm not mad that he didn't play a lot last year because he had the health issue. And as a former college coach who used to recruit, I didn't care what your numbers were because I'm not going to ask you to do whatever that other team asked you to do. I know what I need you to do. So a lot of times I recruited the backups at elite private schools because they were going to be better than the top star from the public school because that kid had to take heat every day. So that's not going to pause me. His size will pause me, but his motor and his IQ, things like that, I may take a flyer in the second round. Same thing with a kid like Zach Edey. I know what I'm going to get out of him. And OKC could have used a big last night. So any thoughts to Bronny or a kid like Zach Edey who, may not have impressed scouts the way they wanted to, but I think the kid might be able to make it. What do you think?
So the problem with Bronny is he was 6'3" in high school, and now he's 6'1". He's Benjamin
6'4"
Button.
in college. He's going backward.
Like he's Benjamin Button. He's just going the other direction. So he's a 6'1", not point guard. There's nowhere to put him. If you draft Bronny, there's one reason you draft him, and that's because you hope LeBron comes, not for LeBron's basketball ability, but because you're an owner who's realizing I'm going to make money. So yeah, I would draft Bronny in the first round if I'm a team that's like, I need LeBron to come here so I can make money. You're not drafting Bronny for basketball.
I tried to give you the basketball coach thing, and you didn't pick up any of it.
If I'm like some middling franchise, I'll take Bronny and I'll say, LeBron, he's either in the G League or he's starting. You decide. Come on over.
Okay. All right. So with that, fans, it's segment 3, WNBA Week in Review for the first time this season. Looking forward to it. We'll be right back on the Young Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Young Coaches Podcast. Still mad I couldn't sell Mike on Bronny James. It's segment 3, our first WNBA power rankings, and because there's only 12 teams, we'll rank everybody every week. So, Mike, we've got Vegas 1, New York Liberty, Minnesota, Connecticut, Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago, Phoenix. The Los Angeles Sparks, Washington Mystics at 10, Seattle at 11, and yes, Indiana is still last at 12. Let's have the Caitlin Clark conversation. One, fan. She is a rookie. She's playing the best women in the world. Playing. There's going to be an adjustment period, and I recall following calling me after he played Memphis when they had Derrick Rose his freshman year, and he got totally crushed off a screen, and it was his welcome to big time Division I college basketball moment. So I saw some stuff on social media, and Caitlin's teammate didn't call out a screen, and she ran right into it. That's called basketball. One post, and I do follow this because I got a show to do, said, why did the WNBA put her on a team that's so bad? I'm like, do you know how sports works? This is crazy that all of these non-sports people are commenting and they're getting traction. So, Mike, what do you think about the first week of Caitlin Clark in the WNBA?
I mean, she took that hit and got right back up and got right back in the play. So that's good on her. I think, I mean, she's on the worst team. We knew she was on the worst team, right? And the two teams that she's gone against are in the power rankings, 2 of the top 4. So, yeah, they're going to lose to the teams that are clearly better than them. That's how this is going to work. And the good news for them is if they lose enough they've got 2 pieces on that team right now. And if you're adding a 1 or 2 pick, now you could have like the next dynasty. It's all about being bad at the right times. That's sports, being bad at the right times. And if they could do it one more year, there's another really good 1-2 type picks in the draft next year.
Yeah. So get her page, slide Caitlin over to the 2. You already got Boston. Yeah, keep being bad, kids.
Bad one more year, and you've got a 3-headed monster. And the other thing, like Taurasi's been like pissing me off because she's got a mouth. She doesn't realize how good this is for the league, and that just drives me crazy. But when she joined the WNBA wasn't the WNBA right now. This is peak, and next year will be better, and the year after that's gonna be better, and you're expanding, and there's more talent, and it's harder now than it was back then. So yeah, she's got 17. What's she averaging? 17, 6, and 6, or 17, 4, and 6. Not bad for a terrible team.
We'll take it. So let's talk long-term WNBA booking. June 1st through the 13th is the Commissioner's Cup. You gotta hope that Indiana wins 1 or 2 of those games. June 25th is the Commissioner's Cup Championship. July 18th through the 21st is the WNBA All-Star break. July 20th is the WNBA All-Star game. You better have her in that All-Star game. I hope those numbers stay good, Mike. And then here's the thing, Mike. July 21st through August 14th, they're breaking for the Olympics. I don't know if Caitlin's on the Olympic team or not, but again, this is an opportunity for NBC to help push your product and push your names. And then, and this is what I want to get your reaction to, Mike, the regular season ends September 19th. Yesterday we talked NFL, September 19th. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I don't know if it's going to be talking about the regular season ending. And the playoffs begin September 22nd. So if you're booking this, what are you thinking about with those important dates out there?
The first thing, I hate these cups, these in-season tournament nonsense. We're not the rest of the world with their football and there's the Euro League and this league and that league and this, and it's like, what does this mean? Do I want to win this championship? This is America. We've got one champion at the end of the year. That's the only thing that matters. Let's stop this. We're hanging banners in the Lakers are hanging a banner for a nonsense tour. The Lakers, Magic. We're hanging banners, Kobe, for regular season nonsense. Anyway, you can't have your playoffs start when the NFL starts, because once the NFL starts, the NFL is like it's a powerhouse beyond powerhouses. If I'm booking this, the WNBA is starting a month early so we could be done before the NFL, because I'm not competing with, especially now the NFL finds a way to have a game, it seems like 7 days a week. I'm not
And they're on Netflix too. Wow.
I'm
Mike, you gotta have the college season, and the college season ends in April. When are you gonna have your draft? So you have to start in May. And then if you condense and go May, June, July, August, man, that's just a lot of pounding. And then you got to the Olympics, and it could be hard to do that.
You're just setting yourself up for a beating when you have your playoffs.
Yeah, and we forgot college football too.
Yeah, and college football. They got the video game coming back. That's gonna be good. College football in the NFL, it's gonna dominate. It just is what it is. So like, I don't know what you do, but it's just bad timing.
I do like that as soon as the WNBA season ends, the NBA begins. So now you got the full year of basketball, but you are 100% right. It's going to be hard to compete. And that 2-week break for the Olympics, I'm happy they're doing it so the world can see the best players. But with that, on behalf of our favorite team leader and OKC fan, Mike King, I'm Dr. Keith Adams, saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. We'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.